Hello, my people. Hello, family. Good day to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for your attention. It's not taken for granted in any way. I honor you. Thank you for always tuning into this daily podcast about mindset transformation. My name is Michael Ujola for Mindset Transformation Africa. And on today's episode of Daily Mind Shift, I want us to talk about a particular statement. Today we will talk about procrastination, all right? But I want to anchor procrastination on this particular statement. To procrastinate is to be entitled. It is arrogant. It assumes there will be later. To procrastinate is to be entitled. It is arrogant. It assumes there will be a later. That is the statement that I want us to ponder upon today. Most of us are plagued with procrastination here and there. It happens to the best of us and it happens to the worst of us. So today we will talk a little bit about it and I will give you a fresh perspective based on that statement. Procrastination, like I said just now, is something that many of us, if not all of us, struggle with. But we often think it is normal. We often don't think about the deeper implications of our procrastination at all. We don't really think about the consequences and why we procrastinate in the first place. So let's talk a little bit about the statement and explore what I believe it means. First, what do you think procrastination is? What is procrastination? Is the act of delaying, all right? Is the act of postponing something, usually out of lack of motivation or outright laziness. Procrastination is when you delay or postpone doing something because either you're lazy or you lack proper motivation or inspiration. We often justify procrastination by telling ourselves that I'll do it later. I'll do it later. How many things have you procrastinated today? As today is winding down, or as you are getting up today, what did you procrastinate yesterday? Think about it. What did you tell yourself before you postpone it? You tell yourself that you will do it later, that we have more time, or we are just not in the right mood right now. So when we are in the right mood, we will do it. This mindset is a problem on its own. It's problematic, all right? It assumes that there is time. It assumes time is infinite. It assumes there will always be a later. This assumption is not only false, all right? This assumption is not only problematic, it is also arrogant. It is full of pride because the assumption is based on control. We assume that we have control over time and that we can waste it without any consequence. That is arrogant. That is pride at its peak. When you postpone to do what you ought to do immediately, you are arrogant. You are arrogant. It's not faith, it's arrogant. Because you think there will be later, because you think you will get to 4 p.m., because you think there is going to be a tomorrow for you, and you think you can waste time without any consequence. Procrastination is also entitled. That is exactly what the statement is saying. The procrastination is to procrastinate is to be entitled. It's entitlement. It's having an entitlement mentality because we assume that we deserve to put things off. I'm tired, so I deserve not to do what I ought to do right now. We assume we have the luxury of time and that we can afford to be lazy. This entitlement is a dangerous mindset, okay? Anybody that knows me knows that I hate the moment I feel that someone is having an entitlement mentality. You think you are entitled to my time. You think you are entitled to my resources because you are this or you are that. That is the beginning of the end to our relationship. That's the truth. So, because entitlement is a dangerous mindset, and it often leads to lack of achievement. A sense of entitlement is highly detrimental to our personal growth. So, why do we procrastinate? Often, procrastination is just a symptom of a larger issue. We may be overwhelmed, all right? We may be stressed. We may be anxious about something. We may lack proper motivation. But it is important for us to recognize that procrastination is not a solution to these problems. Because you procrastinate doesn't mean you will feel less overwhelmed. Because you procrastinate doesn't mean you will feel less anxious or your anxiety will just disappear. Because you procrastinate doesn't mean you will just suddenly be inspired or you'll be motivated. No, most time it exacerbates these feelings. Procrastination makes these feelings worse. You start feeling more overwhelmed because the task that you refuse to do keeps piling up. You start feeling more anxious because the deadline is far approaching, but you keep procrastinating. So, to combat procrastination, I would talk about one or two things how you can stop it. But first, based on daily mind shift, you need to shift your mindset. You need to reinterpret this subject of procrastination. You need to shift your mindset. You need to recognize that time is finite. Time wait for nobody. You need to understand and take responsibility to use time wisely. It is a personal responsibility, the decision that you have to make yourself. You have to make the decision to tell yourself the truth that I'm wasting time and time wait for nobody, and that time is finite. You need to recognize that our entitlement and arrogance are holding us back, and that we need to take immediate action to overcome the feeling and the mindset of entitlement and the negative virtue of arrogance. So let me talk about some few ways I believe you can stop procrastinating. Most people procrastinate because what they want to do is too much. Break down what you want to do into smaller pieces. Do it in bits. When we are faced with a large task, it can be overwhelming, all right? It can seem too big for you. So break it down into smaller, manageable pieces. Break it down and do it one after the other. Commit to doing it one after the other. If you want to take the whole task on at once, you will feel overwhelmed, and before you know, you start procrastinating. So break anything you want to do, all the projects, break it down into smaller pieces and create a schedule for all those pieces. Have a schedule, because scheduling your days, scheduling your task like that will help you to be accountable. You'll be able to look at your schedule and say, okay, I've done this one, I've done that one. You keep yourself accountable, and you will be able to monitor your progress. Find someone that will help you accountable. That's another tip for you to stop procrastinating. Whenever you want to do something, tell someone, and let that person be able to call you and ask you how far with the project you say you're doing. You said you will write 7 articles today. How many have you done right now? How far gone are you? Have you even done it at all? The moment you find yourself start saying, oh man, you see something came up, then let that person hold you accountable that you are just being lazy, you are procrastinating right now. And remember, time wait for nobody. Do you understand? Find someone who can hold you accountable. Find someone who can keep you on track. It can be a friend, a family member, or pay for coaching. Pay for coaching. That is the job, so that your life will be better for it. Remove all distractions from your life. That one should be a no-brainer. Remove all distractions. When you are distracted, it's easy for you to say, okay, let me put it off. What are you talking about? You say you watch that match, something like that. You just get distracted and then you are off. Do you understand? Social media, your phone, certain people are distracting you. Come on. Remove distractions and focus on the end goal. Why are you doing what you're doing? That should keep you on track. When you keep your end goal in mind, use it as inspiration, use it as motivation to push you through any form of procrastination. See, procrastination is not just a harmless habit, all right? It is harmful. It's entitled, it's arrogant, and it assumes that you have time. Time is not infinite in that sense. In the sense of our mortality, time is not infinite. Time is so finite, and you are almost used up your time here. So, shift your mindset, recognize the problem, take immediate action to overcome it. Do you understand? Take immediate action to overcome it. Like I said before, break your project into smaller pieces, create a schedule around those smaller pieces, and take immediate action. Find someone to help to hold you accountable. Do you understand? Remove all distractions around you. Remember what we're talking about today. To procrastinate is to be entitled. It is arrogant. and it assumes